there aren't really any other courses in the country that offer this kind of education. This is really the only course in the country that is anything like this. It's 4 years, so you'll be here for 4 years. You'll be in DCU for 4 years, which is, I guess, is longer than some music courses, but it's pretty much the same as most other music courses. I know some are only 3 years, but if you want to be learning something as difficult as jazz, you kind of want to be doing it for 4 years. If you want to be a performing musician, it is definitely the best place for you. Even if you don't want to be a performing musician, if you end up doing this course, you will want to be a performing musician because they will make that lifestyle so much more fun and so much not just enjoyable to make money, but just enjoyable to do, because playing music it's a lifestyle. It's not just a career path. It's a whole way of living. And yeah, pretty much everything in here is it's like a watered down, summed down version of the course, because there's too much to do. There's so much we do in the course that you can't really put it on one PowerPoint, and you can't really explain it to you. I'm not really sure why this building is in the background. We don't have class here at all. But these are just like the main career paths that people go to besides becoming a professional musician. Everything you see here, you sort of need to be a professional musician if you want to do any of these things. And that's exactly what the course prepares you for. Prepares you for becoming a professional musician, which most people end up doing. Some people end up doing these things because that's just what happens. They just end up doing. I know some people go to college specifically because they have a career path in mind. And if you have a specific career path in mind and you want to pursue that, then you can you can choose a specific course in university that fulfills that path. But if you want to, most of the people who study jazz aren't there to become professional musicians. We're here because we are really interested in it, and we are here because we want to learn about it. And because we learn so much about it, it allows us to eventually become professional musicians, just because if you're interested in something, it's so much easier to learn it. I'm going to skip this because this is just some of the classes we do. It's not very relevant to people that aren't in the course. Yeah, I applied to this course through CAO. I don't really any other way you can apply to it. I think if you're from abroad, if you're not from Ireland, there's other ways of doing it. But if you're from Ireland, you kind of need to go to the CAO, make a CAO account, and apply to the course there. Again, like I think they try to put it up. I remember it was 480 points for the course when I was doing it, and one of the lecturers said it's actually 240. It's actually 240 leaving cert points. Most of the points actually come from your audition and your interview. They don't require you to get a lot in the leaving cert, although you should try to do well in the leaving cert. I think most of the people in the course, anyway, in my course, we all did very well in our leaving cert, like around average 500 points. But it's really the audition and the interview that get you into the course. I don't think I'm qualified to talk about this because I've not experienced this, but you can study abroad, and there's a lot of people who come from other countries to DCU to do the course specifically because they want to move on to other career paths. Those are the people that come to do the course specifically for a career path. And we've got a lot of them, like probably more than any other course on campus. I think maybe Irish people make up, it says 50% here, but I think that's wrong. I think it's way more than 50% international students. I think maybe those numbers have gone down since COVID probably, but it's definitely way more than 50%. There's people from all over the world. We've got people from Turkey, people from China, Japan, Brazil, girl from Iceland, someone from Egypt, and a Bulgarian, just a lot of people from all over the world. And this is what I'm really not qualified to talk about. You would have to look into this yourself, but you can use the course in DCU, the jazz course, to further points to go to Berkeley, if you want to go to Berkeley. if anyone here has never heard of Berkeley before, it's a music college in Boston in America, and it is extremely hard to get into. Even Americans themselves have to pay about 42 grand a year to go there. Irish people, even with a scholarship, is still about 7 grand. It's very hard to get into, but with our course, it makes it so much easier to get into stuff like this. And there's even more. Berkeley is just one of them. Berkeley is the main one because people like to hear a lot about Berkeley. I'm going to skip some of this, but basically here are two very important people, Ronan and Cormac. Cormac is the new course coordinator. He's sort of like the principal of the course, and he organizes everything. He checks his email like every 3 minutes, so you will not hear any bad feedback from him or lack of feedback from him. Ronan is sort of the founder of the course. He's like the godfather of Irish jazz. And these are both teachers. These are both some of the lecturers in the course. In our course, we do learn from professional musicians. Just like if you were to study engineering, you'd be learning from professional engineers or people who have an experience with professional engineering. There's no point in going to a music course and just learning from some teacher. You want to learn from a professional. And all of the lecturers are professional musicians who have done concerts and performed all over the world with famous musicians. I'm just going to move over to another tab here, which is a PowerPoint presentation we did for the TYs for 4th years last year. This is one of the rooms. This is one of the ensemble rooms that we practice in. It's one of the grand pianos. We've got 4 ensemble rooms. We have 3 instrumental rooms, a whole bunch of practice rooms. I think we've got a piano in every room of the campus. Even the offices, for some reason, have pianos in them. This is the campus that we're on. We're not on the main campus. We're not on the Glastonbury campus. We're on the other campus, which is just down the road from the main campus. It's a lot quieter, which I think is better for music students. We don't want to be too noisy and disrupt the STEM and business students up on the main campus. I said that it's the only course, but these are the 6 types of categories you can audition as. You can audition as a guitarist, which obviously we get most of as Irish people. They say the harp is the national instrument of Ireland, but really it should be the guitar because there's so many of them. You can audition as a piano player, a bassist, or a drummer. Those are the 4 main types of instruments that you will get. And then you will get other things like vocalists and horn players, which are, we call these monophonic instruments because they can only play 1 note at a time. So you can only sing 1 note at a time, and you can only play 1 note at a time on a horn. A horn includes saxophone, trumpet, trombone, all the brass and woodwind stuff, flute, clarinet. Again, this is just some other stuff that we do. We'll obviously be learning to improvise from day 1 of doing this course. You will learn how to improvise on your instrument. You will need to bring your instrument everywhere you go, even if it's a class that doesn't involve instruments, like jazz history or music technology. We do some classes like that aren't really practical based, but most of it is performance based. It is a performance degree, so everything is very practical. Yeah, again, this is something that Ronan always brings up, the fact that no one really wants a career in music. You don't strive to have a career in music. People who have careers in music strive to have lives in music. If you want a career in music, you have to have a life in music. You can't have one without the other. You have a life in music, and then the career comes with it. That's what he says. To have a career in music, you must have a life in music. Music is not just a lifestyle; it's a career. That's what he's always going on about. There's some cool things you can do as a jazz student. We have our own society, and we do get discounts to gigs because we know a lot of some people who are in the course. They are always playing in their bands, and like they might give discount tickets to people who study at DCU, even people who've never met us before. Some jazz musicians end up just giving discounts to DCU students because they know that we're striving to we'll always go to the gigs anyway, and sometimes even for homework, we'll have to go out to a concert and write about the concert. That'll be some stuff you have to do in the course. Isn't too bad for you guys, because I assume that if you're interested in doing the course, you would have done these things already. But this is for the TYs. We told them to develop their style, listen to as much music and play as much music as possible before doing this course. It is a very academic course, but again, it's a performance course. You're not going to be studying classical music. You don't need to go into the course knowing how to read and write music thoroughly. But listening to music and playing music will help you so much before coming to this course. Obviously, learn the basic techniques of your instrument. You can't come into the course if you don't know how to play your instrument. Sort of like doing a language course and not knowing how to speak. And of course, learn to appreciate all types of music. Jazz is so diverse. It's linked to so many different types of styles of music, and that you kind of need to be able to appreciate the other styles of music in order to appreciate jazz. This one last thing I want to share is just some things that you might take note of. You guys can take a photo of this if you want. It might be too small. You can zoom in there. But these are just some albums that are very good for beginners, and you will hear a lot of the teachers talking about pretty much all of these albums. If I push it, within the first 2 years of studying this, you will have had to at least heard of all these albums. So I'll give you a few seconds to take a photo of that. These are good ones to take note of. How develop most of your improvisation skill? Not at all. I guess, the thing is, it's not just about improvising on your instruments. It's about the idea of improvising and thinking and not being told what to do. Classical musicians are always being told what to do musically, and I think it's to do with the fact that they are just being told what to do all the time. It's not just about music. If you improvise everything, if you have a schedule, that's good, because it means you're organized and it can help you with your improvisation. It's not just about music. You don't have to do anything. I think the most I knew coming into the course was some blues. I had a background in blues music before coming to the course, and that definitely helped a lot. But it means that my style of playing is very bluesy. It's whatever background you come from, whatever kind of music you play, every style of music has some aspect of improvisation. There's no music that there are styles of music that don't have any improvisation at all, but that doesn't mean that you can take that style and not improvise using that style. You can definitely do that. Jazz is just a style of improvisation, and it's the most popular and the most thorough and most sophisticated style of improvising. But you can improvise in anything. You can improvise in rock, R&B, classical music, folk music, ethnic music. Any style of music can involve improvisation. And it's just one of the main aspects that's involved. And if I had more time, I'd talk more about it, but I've only got 50 minutes, so I can only go so much in depth about what we do on the course. But if you have more questions, please ask them, because I will be able to answer them. And if you've taken a photo of this, I'm going to move down. I'd say, if anyone's even interested in doing this course, I'd say you guys have heard of most of these things. But these are good, just singles. You should listen to all these. I'd say you'd heard of at least, I knew at least half of these coming into the course. And these are very popular things. You kind of need to know a bit about the background and some of the stuff in it. The thing is, if you're bad at one thing coming into the course, that doesn't mean you're bad at everything. There are some people who come into the course and they're great. I know one guy he's amazing at his instruments. He knows, like, he can play about 5 instruments. I think he knows drums, bass, guitar, piano, and he plays the oboe, and he also plays I think he knows a bit of clarinet or something. He's so good at music, but he's not very good at writing essays, and he's not very good at music technology. And other people come in and they're really good at ear training, and they're really good at picking up on stuff, but they suck at harmony, and they're terrible in the harmony classes, and they don't understand the theory, but they understand how things sound. So there's strengths and weaknesses in everything. And by the end of the course, even after the first year, after doing all this, you'll only have strengths. You won't have any weaknesses. You'll just be good at everything, because we go through everything. We go through everything that you're weak at. The teachers really push for you to get better at, and it's very easy to get better at them. They teach it in a way that that's really easy to get better and more skilled at these things. I'm gonna move it back up because these are more important. I think it would be good to just YouTube, even just put in DCU jazz. So much stuff comes up. We all come up. There's videos of us playing. There's clips of us talking about the course. You can even find some of the teachers talking about the course. All the teachers play regularly in bars all across, mainly Dublin, but all across the country as well. My piano teacher at the moment, he comes from Belfast. He's got his own jazz club up in Belfast. And if that's not it, I think that is my time up. It's 2 minutes. Anyway, thanks for everyone for coming here.